board is sworn in, and Alyssa will take over leading this meeting. But if you are new to Senate, welcome. Thank you for coming. And we will begin with the usual call to order. Can we have all the senators and exec stand, please? 3, 2, 1.
We, the Student Senate of Illinois Institute of Technology, reaffirm our responsibility to loyally represent the student body and effectively improve the quality of campus life.
Thank you. Okay, so the rules for the meeting, as always, are that raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged by the chair. Right now that's me, it'll be Alyssa, and whoever else is up here later. If you agree with something that was said, you can snap or do like a one-handed clap. You don't need to be like, yo, I agree with that, and take up 5 seconds of time. Be concise. You'll have a minute to talk in one turn. After that minute, you will be gavelled and kindly told to please stop talking. Stay relevant. You will be cut off if you go on a tangent, talk out of turn, or repeat something that was already said. If a student organization has already said it in their presentation and you ask about it, cut off. Make sure you pay attention, please. And these rules apply for everybody, not just senators. Anybody that's in attendance is allowed and welcome to speak, but you have to follow these rules as well. And general discussion time will be capped at a total of 10 minutes per organization, and general/open floor discussion will be 12 minutes. All right, unfinished business. Leo will come up to swear in the new members, and he will call probably them one by one.
All right, let me publish the live stream. All right. So, this is my last thing officially. Let's see, who should I go with what order? Let's start with President. Morgan? And we're just gonna do this together. You follow me, okay? And you say your name and your position and office. I, Morgan Peters,
I, Morgan Peters,
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students
and my duties as president to the best of my ability.
and my duties as president to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Where's Alyssa? Oh.
Also, in case if anybody's wondering, that's not a Bible. It's like the Robert's Rules of Civility, what we use
Rules of
for
civility.
parliamentary stuff.
I, Alyssa DeLuca,
I, Alyssa DeLuca,
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Executive Vice President to the best of my ability.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Executive Vice President to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Finance Board. There you are. All right. I, Nina Tamraz,
I, Nina Tamras,
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill
I vow to fulfill
my obligations to my fellow students
my obligations to my fellow students
and my duties as Finance Board Chair to the best of my ability.
and my duties as Finance Board Chair to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. All right. I feel like I'm going to start forgetting people. Let's do Vice President of Student Life, Trixie. Left. Yep. Wiener, Trixie Wiener. Weiner, sorry. Glad I asked. I, Trixie Weiner,
I, Trixie Weiner,
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Vice President of Student Life to the best of my ability.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Vice President of Student Life to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Well done. Ready? Gulzar Shabiri. I, Gulzar Shabiri,
I, Gulzar Shabiri,
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology.
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students
I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students
and my duties as Vice President of Academic Affairs to the best of my ability.
and my duties of Vice President of Academic Affairs to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you the last one? Am I missing someone? Come on. No, not Adina. There should be 6. Did I do? President,
Yeah. It's
executive.
judicial board, we don't have it.
Yeah, that's okay. They don't get sworn. Later. Anyway,
Can we do Nathan Cooper Jones and make it official?
for sure. Go ahead.
Oh,
There
sorry.
you go. Ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
I, Nathan Cooper Jones, do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology. I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Vice President of Communications to the best of my ability.
Okay. I, Nathan Cooper Jones, do hereby affirm that I shall justly support and defend the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association of the Illinois Institute of Technology. I vow to fulfill my obligations to my fellow students and my duties as Vice President of Communications to the best of my ability.
I did not miss anybody, right? I don't want with that being said, I would like to invite Alyssa to take over the rest of the meeting. Thank you, everyone. And this is it.
So I guess we move on to new business. There is no new business.
Yay!
Okay,
Melissa, what happened to the student org slide?
Nice.
Go to the next one to see if it got skipped or something.
Oh, there we go.
It just got.
They're the wrong order, of course, it happens.
I just
Okay.
got moved or something.
Up first, ASHRAE.
Okay.
Do you want to set a timer?
Yeah, phone timer would be awesome.
She's good.
So I'm not gonna be going off of this. ASHRAE, or the actual acronym, is the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. So we actually do not have a student group on campus that focuses on this essential topic of engineering. It involves both civil, structural, mechanical, and architectural engineers. And a lot of people end up being employed by ASHRAE fields who study those engineering professions. So ASHRAE would basically hone those interests in a group. I would be the president, and Professor Brent Stevens of Architectural Engineering would be the advisor. Essentially, I'm asking for this to be an organization. Should I state like the budget stuff or no? This is all for recruiting people. Basically, I know that ASHRAE was once a campus org, but then it shut down due to lack of interest, so I'd like to address that. I'm starting it up with the intent of it continuing on as like an actual student org, because I'm actually, I've successfully gotten it recognized as a student org through ASHRAE, just not through Illinois Institute of Technology, so that helps. We already get, or will have access to discounted manuals, which we have to reference as engineers in this field. Also, I'd like to provide interest to students who might not know what they want to do with their degree. A lot of mechanical engineers don't actually know or understand the
You have 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. The applications of their heat and mass transfer classes. And so I think that it could be really interesting. I myself, as a mechanical engineer with just architectural classes under my belt, I got lucky, but some other people might not if we don't exist. Also, I want to do AutoCAD workshops. These would fulfill possibly grad student teaching credit hours, but primarily they would allow mechanical engineers and any other engineers that don't have to take AutoCAD for their first year or couple of semesters to become literate in that programming and be able to state that on their resume, and also to then eventually get a job in the field of heating, refrigeration, and air conditioning, or just an architectural engineering based job relevant to their degree. I'd also like to invite guest speakers. I know that there are a lot of speakers in our area, or people in our area who are in this field and could talk about interesting concepts that pertain to environmental engineering, so making more energy efficient housing, and elements like that. And there are a lot of student competitions that are relevant to ASHRAE that obviously would need to be funded because sometimes they involve students going, to Colorado to the National Energy Resources Laboratory, NREL. So basically, the competitions that I would be putting up for ASHRAE would be the Integrated Sustainable Building Design Competition. That's more of a design competition, so we don't actually build the building, which is good. The Applied Engineering Challenge, the Race to Zero. Race to Zero is actually a class right now, and unfortunately the Armor College of Engineering was not able to give us enough money to go, so that's been an impact on some of the people who were in that class. And who put in a lot of effort, who actually made it to the hurdles of even getting into the competition because some teams were cut. So it is unfortunate that people have mastered a lot of elements of heating and refrigeration and air conditioning for a net zero building, meaning that it either produces or reaches zero in its energy consumption, to not be able to go to those kind of things. Also solar decathlon, but that is a more involved thing where you build a house or a mini house, so maybe not that. Also, sorry, okay, a couple seconds. Also, one thing that we will do is free energy analysis for low-income communities. That is one thing that in Chicago is clearly needed, and our area sponsor would make it available for us to do, so.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 minutes of questions. Anyone have one? Yes. Person. Yes. What?
There were a couple of times during the presentation where you had said "I" on different occasions, and I'm just wondering, sort of, in terms of carrying this organization forward in future years, what plans do you have in mind for continuing recruitment of younger students, and especially potential student leaders, to make sure that the organization doesn't die out?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, we are going to be in compliance with the ASHRAE policy and procedure and the manual for student branches, so that requires me as president to put people in charge of the vice presidency all the way down. So we would have to have elections, and this would all be starting in the fall semester. I just want to get things in place, like budgeting after approval of the student org. But yeah, those would continue as a nomination, and I would like to get people from all sorts of backgrounds so we could reach into like a lot of different majors that way. So, and that would, help us to actually get people, yes.
So do you not have an exec board in place other than you?
No, we do not. I have friends who would take the positions, and I understand that that's been done in the past with student orgs, but I'm not gonna lie, no, I don't have like one set up, but I have people who would take it. Yes.
So you would consider this like an unofficial club right now, since you're not official, like? what
Yeah,
student board
I
is?
have
So
friends.
how many people are like part of it?
Yeah, so our goal, I know at least 30 people who would be like, yeah, I would go to those AutoCAD workshops, or like, yeah, that would be awesome to be a part of that if it actually got funding and we're actually able to do these things. So yeah, there is interest, I guess. I don't know how to like validly proof that. Yeah.
Have you had a meeting with the people that are interested in joining this club?
Not formally. Informally, I've asked a lot of people and put out censors, and people are interested in having ASHRAE back. Also, the faculty advisor, Brent Stevens, he has a meeting set up. He's assistant professor of architectural engineering, and he has a meeting set up with the lead professor of mechanical engineering, and is trying to kind of bridge the gap between the two in terms of building science. So there is a huge push at this campus to have things like ASHRAE occur. ASHRAE is where those two overlap. You could be an aerospace engineer and learn all these heat and mass transfer concepts, not get a job in aerospace because that's improbable, and then end up going into this building science realm. Any more questions? Yep. Gina, did you have one?
No, it was answered.
Okay. You.
Are you a graduate student?
No, I'm not, but I will be graduating sooner rather than later, but I think I may do my Master's of Science here, and I would continue to push this organization.
Okay, follow-up for that. Is this, I think, I must have heard you mention something about graduate students before. Is this something tailored more towards undergrads or more towards graduate students, do you think?
I would say that it's open to everyone. Some of the interest was graduate students. It was primarily undergraduate students. And I plan to be at like the org fairs, so whoever walks by, I don't really know exactly who those people are, but it should appeal to everyone. I'm sure graduate students know exactly what they want to do more so than undergraduate students, so it could be more useful for an undergraduate student to gain the skills and just connections offered by ASHRAE, but any student.
Thank you. Next we have AWM. Oh yeah. You guys will have 5 minutes to present and then 5 minutes of questions after you present. Give me a nod or something when you change the slides.
Hello everybody. We are the Association for Women in Mathematics, and we're looking to start a student chapter here at IIT. I'm Genevieve Hummel. I'm the president. This is Monica. She's the vice president. Adriana's not here. She's the treasurer. This is Marissa, the secretary. Anna is our publicity chair, and Mimi is over here. She's our programs chair. So what is AWM? As a national organization, it's a professional organization aimed at helping women have active careers in mathematics. The goal is to increase the knowledge of and interest in mathematical sciences for anybody that's interested in mathematical sciences. It provides a greater understanding of the contributions from women in mathematics. So for example, they're having a conference, and part of that conference is a Wikipedia edit-a-thon, where they're trying to get people to write more articles and write more accurate articles on Wikipedia about what women have contributed to mathematics and like the mathematical sciences in general. And the national chapter will also provide student chapters with many opportunities, including bringing free speakers to campus. So there are speakers out there that have signed a list, like this is what I do, and I'm willing to go do a talk, and they'll put you in contact with them and fly the speakers out here and provide them with the funds that they need, and all we have to do is give them a room and they'll present to our student body.
As she said, I'm Anna. I'm the publicity chair, who will be a part of AWM. AWM will be open to all students on campus, but there will be a focus towards undergrad, applied math majors and minors. We held an initial interest meeting a couple weeks ago, and 20 total students were in attendance, and we're really excited for this to be an org. How will we increase membership? We will continue to promote AWM to students, especially math majors, with the goal of including all undergrad math majors in our activities, as well as any other interested students. Ways we will do this is by participating in the semesterly student org fair, just to get our name out there and say, hey, we're here. Working with the department head of math to promote AWM through emails to the department, and visiting the Intro to Profession mathematics course in the fall to get first year students involved.
So again, I'm Monica, and well, our budget is not showing up on there, but I will tell our budget to you guys. So per semester, we plan on having, this is like a pretty rough outline because we're still in the process of becoming an official organization, but in general, we plan on having 3 general body meetings per semester, and we estimate that will cost about $300 just for food, or in total, so like each meeting will cost about $100 just for food. We want to have some sort of math competition, and we estimate that will cost around $200 to rent out a space and provide food and maybe transportation and judges and things like that. We're also interested in having like a conference, either like away or here, so we would have to pay for hotels if it was away and transportation, and like the entry fee for getting into the conference. And we plan on having a math department social at the end of this year, and it's kind of something we would want to do every semester, and we think that would cost around just $150 just for food for the students and faculty in attendance. So this is what we are planning to do as a student organization. We want to create connections between students and both undergraduate and graduate students. Our organization is going to be mostly focused on undergraduates, since there's not really like a math organization focused on undergraduate students right now. But obviously, like we want to create connections between undergraduate and graduate math students, so like undergrads can learn about applying to grad school or careers and things like that. We would want to collaborate with other AWM chapters around Chicago, so we could host like really like larger events and things like that. And we're really interested in hosting activities and competitions. Like a problem-solving competition is something we've been thinking about. And yeah, we want to send some of our students to conferences, local or national, so depending on like the funding we get and opportunities that come up. And we're also really big on helping students explore careers in industry, since a lot of times it seems like when you're a math major, like you're supposed to just go to graduate school and you don't have a lot of opportunities to learn about things or careers in industry. So we want to like have a lot more opportunities to learn about things like that. Thank you. We just have one more slide.
We know the slide up.
I'll just put it up, and people can read it while they ask questions about it.
We all have the slides too. So.
Yeah, they were all sent out, so they've all been read, don't worry. Yeah. We'll have 5 minutes for your question. Oh yeah, we'll
Do you have any questions that we can answer? Yes.
So, just to ask, have you contacted SWE? Have you contacted SIAM? They're both departments here that will help part of what you're interested in, and basically, why do you need to exist?
Okay, SWE is Society of Women in Engineering. Mathematics is a very separate field. There's a lot of mathematical fields, in fact, basically all of them, that have nothing to do with engineering. So this is a very different group. It's like data analytics, data science, none of that has to do with engineering, so we're not really technically part of that group. So this is a place where the rest of the women could fit in. And in terms of SIAM, I am very closely working with the president of SIAM, but they are more focused on graduate students, and a lot of their events and activities, which I've attended a lot of this semester, are just beyond the scope of undergraduates to really understand what's going on. Like, the presentations are a little advanced, and you sit there the whole time thinking, what am I doing here? So we're hoping to fill that gap between those two organizations. Does that answer your question? Yes.
Following up with that, I think you answered that very nicely. So how come you're going out making a new organization instead of working with a foundation that already exists, SIAM, and actually helping out make something that undergrads can relate to, something that women can work under, maybe make it into a subsection of the organization itself? Why not build upon the foundation that already exists?
So SIAM is actually focused on a very specific section of mathematics. It's statistical.
Industry.
Yeah, it's based on.
I don't remember the acronym.
But the thing is.
Society of Industrial.
Yes, go ahead.
Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics.
Yes.
And yeah, there's so much more math than what is introduced in SIAM. And as a math major, you're not necessarily entering it because you enjoy the topics in SIAM. You're interested because of all the topics in mathematics.
Exactly. And so we do have a lot of support from the math department that we're very excited to start this organization, especially to promote the jobs in industry that are available to mathematicians.
We actually forgot to mention our faculty sponsor is Despina Stasi. I don't know if that's.
And
Yes.
then I was gonna to additionally answer that question. All of us, as well as some other math students on campus, have been awarded with a free membership to the national chapter of AWM. So, and they've contacted us about starting a student chapter because that's something they do at a lot of campuses. And so we're really looking forward to be able to extend to that instead of working through another organization, but using our memberships to interact with the national chapter.
Do you know a rough estimate of how many math major students we have in women specifically after?
I don't know, but that is a more complicated question because a lot of people do minor in mathematics that aren't majoring in mathematics, so I'm not sure that we could get those numbers or have access to those numbers, but
Just curious.
yeah, even the number that are majoring, there's also a much larger number that are minoring. Any other questions? Thank you.
Can everyone who presented in an org, or if you're affiliated with an org who presented today, could please leave the room for our discussion? You are free to stay and wait until the end, or you can go, and results will be emailed to you after the meeting. Or tomorrow. So after the meeting is tomorrow. Should we close the So does someone want to motion to discuss the ASHRAE organization?
Move to discuss the first organization.
Second ASHRAE.
For how long?
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, sorry, second.
It's 19 of 20.
I liked her mission statement, and I like what the organization represents, but I gotta say that the level of organization, different organization context, for that speaks volumes, because we have to say that an organization is going to survive, and that's what we're accepting, and that was worrying. That's all. So that should be taken with substantial weight.
I think another thing is, I may be coming at this from too personal of a perspective, but heating, refrigeration, and what's the other thing? Air conditioning seems very narrow of a field, and I think that they could do well maybe under one of the other organizations, like as like a subgroup or co-group or something, especially since we've been talking about limiting that.
But you and then.
Okay. So, as to Nathan's point, the basic requirements of coming to this room require a president and a treasurer, and those are the basics of an organization in general. Their national level organization, as stated, does require some level of executive board. We don't know beyond what was said exactly how that's structured or how that's enforced, but her statement to us was that she chose not to fill out the executive board because she wanted to officially be an organization first. And I personally have trust in that, and I have trust in that if somebody is going out of their way to create a professional organization, not an organization that's a personal interest, that they are doing it to forward professional opportunities for students around them. And that sort of gets to the scope of the organization. We have had very narrow scoped organizations that have done very well on this campus before. The Bitcoin Club, now that club folded, but it didn't fold for lack of interest. It folded because the person who was heading it up ended up joining a national level blockchain advocacy organization. I think that having professional related organizations that are very narrow in scope is very good for the university. I think that as long as they're run properly, they can provide very specific opportunities for groups of students that might not be serviced by a larger organization.
Oh wait, you first.
Thank you. Yeah, one thing I noted as well, as a professional organization, it seems that they would contribute a lot to this campus through their discounts on course materials, speakers, and the student competitions as well. And also another point is, it seems like there is an interest. The speaker mentioned the classes that are going on. There's an interest, but it's not fully funded. It doesn't have the resources it needs to thrive. So that stood out to me.
Another thing is, like, it may sound like very specific, but when you think about it, it's heating and cooling, and a lot of us as engineers take thermodynamics classes, and she said that like taking this class or this club really helps really understand those classes and how all this stuff really works. And maybe by joining this club as like a freshman or a sophomore, by the time you get to it as like a junior, you'll be more able to understand how the class works and therefore easily understand what is going on throughout all of the classes.
Jose?
And to bounce off of that, for some of us, that kind of stuff may seem like nothing, but for the people in this major, it's their whole life, and it's what they're going to go into for the rest of their life. So we should take that into consideration too.
Any more comments? Yes. I wanted to say, like, not reiterate my point, but say that what I'm talking about is, like, maybe they could do better in collaboration with one of the other organizations and that already exists and already gets funding, especially since a lot of engineers have to take those courses. So it could be beneficial to like a greater scope than. We only have a couple more seconds. I need a motion to extend if you're sure. Okay. Okay. Second. That's still on your computer, right? Okay.
Okay, I have the software online, but it's open now. Oh, come
Oh, yeah.
A for yes, B for no, C, D, E for abstain.
Just in case you're not sure. It's okay. That's the state of our country. As soon as I go.
Two more people. One more person. Just go over, Joe.
Do I hear a motion to discuss AWM?
Motion to discuss AWM.
Second. For okay.
They were very put together. They have all their shit figured out, it seems like. That's all.
Jake, and
I
then
mean,
Liz.
this seems like a club that's like pretty important, like a good networking club that might get you a job in the future, and like let you branch out to other schools and other people in the field. So I think it's a good idea.
Move to vote.
Oh, Liv first. Yes.
So something, you said something about them like teaming up with SIAM, right? And my thought on that, if SIAM is geared more toward graduate students, and they come to SIAM with no name, no face, they're not gonna get anywhere. If they have specific goals, then they should have their own. I believe they should have their own org. Then rather than trying to combine with an org that's already established, that already has a plan set out, they're not gonna wanna listen to what these people without a face and a name wanna do.
First, and then Nina, and Kay.
Just to play devil's advocate here real quick. Some Minch, about how many organizations are registered on campus and about how many of them are active?
We have 146 registered student organizations. I would tell you they're all active.
No,
but
that's
initially,
including
because they've all registered within the last year. How many of them actually do stuff on a month-to-month basis? 100 of them? Sorry, I know.
No, it's all right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, Nina, you were next.
Yeah, so like, I understand that they have their own ambitions and that they are kind of like a different subgroup that seems to be overlooked a lot. But if they don't team up with a different organization that's very similar in terms of like their goals, what's going to keep them from having too little of a student body to maintain themselves after these people graduate? If they have a subcommittee within an organization that already exists that has similar goals, and I know it's very tough to like have students to work with each other when they've been doing it one way for so long, and then suddenly branching out and doing something different can be sometimes scary and difficult and create problems. But at the end of the day, they're gonna have one giant group of students that all love the same thing, rather than two groups of students who love very similar things that they don't need to like be different. They can be together. Graduates and undergraduates don't need to be separate all the time.
Kay is next.
Yeah, I was basically gonna say that, but for a different reason. Like, even in the past 2 semesters, we have passed a couple of organizations that could have easily been integrated in other organizations. That are also, some of them might also not continue being organizations at the end of the semester. That would have easily been integrated into some bigger organization if they had just asked. So that's shouldn't be an excuse that if it seems different, you shouldn't even ask. So they should contact the other organization first.
Simon, you're next.
I think it's kind of excessive at this point in time when every time an organization comes up and they have a specific interest that's not like every other organization, it's precedence for them being passed because they're always going to bring something up that's unlike anything else on campus. It becomes redundant. There's lots of organizations that want to do the same thing but under different specificity. I know it's getting redundant this time when we're saying it over and over again. I do believe at the end of the day, if there's such a gap that little specific organizations of special interest have to be formed for the school to do anything, I think it's Senate's job to actually reach out to them and actually fill in that gap. Make a structure for everyone to start working together, make something that organizations can go through. There should be no organizations will clump up. Something as simple as Smash Club and something as simple as Scarlet League and all the little game organizations came together at the end of the day and they were completely happy about it. So it's not we've seen it work. There was supposed to be a test trial last semester and this semester to see if it was even possible, and it did work, and they're actually off doing their own thing at a larger organization. So all because they have this specific interest, I don't think that's precedence to keep passing them.
Okay, I need to hear a motion
for
to
2 minutes.
Second. Trixie, you're next.
I think women in STEM is something that we should support, not necessarily a reason fully to push this through, but additionally the things that we're saying for this one could have easily been applied to the first one as well, and I think that we have to take into account that we don't really fully understand the field of mathematics, and if we have 4 experts up there telling us that it's different from the statistics and industry one, whatever it is, yeah, the other one, if they're saying it's different, they study it, so I think that that's something we should address.
Thomas, you're next.
Thank you. So another thing to mention is they were in contact with Sam. She mentioned that she was working closely with the president, and that if she came to the conclusion that it's a different organization, that they have different goals, and that they need to be recognized as a separate entity, then they've already done their due diligence, it seems. Plus, another thing too, if they were grouped together with SIAM, it seemed that they couldn't receive some of the benefits provided by their national organization, and the attractiveness of this organization on the campus, I suppose, if it were just like a subgroup, would be lessened, and fewer people would be interested.
Okay, you're next.
I just picture this as like, if you're, a freshman coming in on your first day and your mathematics is your major, this is more of like a general mathematics board rather than SIAM, which is geared towards like higher level education here students. That didn't sound like right, but yeah, I just see it as more of like a general figuring out what we want to do with a mathematics major, and that's what it seems like they want to help.
Okay, I need another motion to extend.
How much?
What?
How much time do we have?
3 more minutes is max.
Motion to extend.
For 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Second.
Gina, then Soren.
Never mind, my question was answered.
Okay.
The issue of proliferation of student organizations is an important one, and it is one that contributes to a campus community that is at times unhealthy in certain ways. SGA has passed organizations that had either through misleading SGA or through SGA being too lenient, have had a lot of crossover in purpose with other organizations. Think back to fall semester with Computer Science Club or whatever it was that told us that they had spoken to ACM, when in reality there was a large spat after that approval where it turned out that ACM was not aware of them at all. But this is not the organization that we should be making that stand on. This is people who came here, made a very clear case about why they weren't being served by a current organization, put together a very, very, very good proposal, put on suits, have a full structure, and they're part of a national organization, which means that on the professional level, the field of mathematics considers this to be different enough for a national level organization to exist. And I think that's a very strong case for this organization to pass.
Sonia?
I think Soren said most of it. The only thing I would say is we are having the discussion of whether or not org should be consolidated or not, which is important to have. but I feel like in the case of SIAM versus this one, the order's almost reversed, while SIAM seems to be more specific than this one is. So theoretically, SIAM should fall under a general mathematic organization, not the other way around. It would be like having a specific BOG organization that you want to put Union Board under instead. Like, it's reversed. I think that at this point, since SIAM has already been approved, this one, since it generally overarches the purpose of what SIAM does, it reaches a larger population, theoretically all math majors, it shouldn't have the conversation of consolidating or not in this point, because it's the opposite situation.
Simon?
I'm gonna try bringing up this point. It's not to do with this organization specifically, but it's for anything that will happen in the future. If a chapter reaches out to a student body and says, hey, why don't you make a chapter under our organization, of course it's to the benefit of that specific chapter to make that at a school. That's how they grow. So every time the chapter of this and this pops up and they come up and say, hey, why don't you make one in your school? It makes no sense that we should just keep pumping those out, because we should be aiming to get the organizations that truly have a stronger coverage of the professional careers. It's hard to explain, if you know what I mean. If you don't, I can talk with anyone afterwards.
Okay, that's the end of the discussion. We need a motion to vote. Move to vote.
Second.
Voting's open. Trixie, there's 20. You have 21.
I have 20 IDs. Did you put your ID in? I counted myself. Oh, less.
No, there's 20. That's it. Because there was 20 last time. Now there's 21.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to restart the vote again because for some reason we have 21 votes versus even 20 when we were supposed to have.
Yeah, that's 3 votes.
Including Nina, I'm saying. Okay, hold on. Okay,
Did anyone not turn in an ID when you got your clicker?
that too. Also, the vote's open again.
Why are you voting?
Why am I voting?
Gosh, are you voting?
Oh, shouldn't I be?
No, you're not acting with the chairs anymore.
Wait, but that doesn't change it because I have his ID in here.
Did you
With
vote?
his ID, it's 20.
We need to re-vote on both.
We need to revote.
On both.
I don't think the first
Not
one
that it'll
changed.
matter much actually.
Tianwen, are you voting?
Oh my gosh, what the heck? Wait, Chenron, you're not voting, right?
I'm not, I don't
Okay,
have one
good.
yet.
Alright, we're restarting this vote again.
Wait, who are we voting for?
So basically, we're doing the second org again, and then we'll go back and do the first org.
Okay, it's the math.
So second org, open the vote now.
Women math.
So I should put 19.
Oh, we're doing voting again, third time?
Yeah, we have 20.
Okay, if you have an iClicker, raise your hand.
Raise your eye click. Why, what's going on?
Yeah, raise your iClicker in the air.
That's verification. No lie.
This is gonna be like a torch.
All math majors.
There is 20. You have 19.
Alright, someone
Who didn't turn in an ID?
You didn't count my lanyard on the other side. With my ID.
Give it to me! Okay, we're good then.
So there was no problem?
No, there was a problem, but the problem was different.
Okay, and we're gonna re-vote for the first one. Ready, go.
For the first,
This is the first one.
Ashray?
The air conditioning,
I don't remember any.
heating and cooling.
Okay.
Just good. Did yours just die?
Yeah.
Engineering.
Well, they were dead.
That's what I always assume.
Okay.
No, I'm laying them out so I don't have to do this.
Dude, it's okay.
I'm gonna have to hand them back to me. It's their own job.
I think I refractured my finger. Okay, I'll do Ashray passed with 12 yeses, 6 noes, and 2 abstains. And AWM passed with 16 yeses, 2 noes, and 2 abstains. They both passed. On to officer reports.
Did you refresh?
I did.
Okay, cool. Then you're
Hi guys. If I don't know some of you, I'm Morgan. It's nice to meet all of you, and I look forward to getting to know you this year, or next year, or whatever. So I hope you guys have a great summer. I hope that all goes well. We're as exec board, we're like looking forward to our summer. We've made lots of summer plans, and we're really ready to push forward with some of our goals that we set this year and are moving forward with next year. So just like some certain things that I'd like to talk with the provost and the president about. If you guys haven't heard my spiel about student advisors at every course, basically I want to change course evaluations by implementing students who would basically volunteer as course advisors, and they would be this gateway in between the students and the faculty to talk about like what's wrong with the class. And both the president and the provost like this idea, and we're basically going to talk to the faculty council about it and hopefully get this implemented. Next is more student involvement with decisions on campus. I know that a lot of you have heard these like issues with Sodexo and how they're like changing the P Club and all of that stuff. Our food advisory board and the exec board and RHA are already on the ball with this, and we will be involved in that. So just like whoever's talking about that, just push them towards food advisory board to let them know that this is something that we are talking about and this is something we will be involved in. And then lastly is women's issues and better respect of other cultures. It's come to my attention that women in this school have like been put down by TAs and by staff in classes. And I brought this to the attention of the provost and the president to basically push there to be almost like talks before they get hired, basically, so that stuff like that doesn't happen, and hopefully we can continue that presence and pushing for more female students and a welcoming student body. And then we open nominations for senators for next year. Yay!
So we can get rid of all of you.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No!
First thing she
Just
said.
kidding. No, not really. Anyways, so nominate your friends. Don't nominate yourselves, obviously. Please nominate yourselves, guys. We would like to see you all back here, and like, if you guys have anything to talk about of why you don't want to come back or why you do want to come back, your exec board would love to hear that and would love to push you to be involved and come back and come join us again. So, tiny URL, vote SGA Senate.
I also thought it was votes at first.
Same.
Votes gas and
In case you forget that.
Okay, I'm done. Oh, wait, we're doing questions. Oh, question. I forgot that. Yes.
There's someone here to say that.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just wondering, did somebody check outside to see if anybody was still there from student?
Oh, I'll check to make sure.
No one's there.
They're probably not.
Okay.
No.
Alyssa, we're good.
I hope they have
Another question?
Okay. So, our nominations are open all summer, is that how it works?
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, if you had to sum up your goals for your presidency into one single big thing, what would that
Oh! Collaboration.
Do we have a white?
You guys
Our executive board together would like to push unity, connection, communication, respect, and representation.
Can I add to that?
Of course.
These are all buzzwords, we know, but we have everything behind them. So in the broadest aspect that you can think of those words.
Let's go
Follow-up
ahead.
question.
Yes.
What's behind them?
What's behind the cause?
Would you like to?
A certain intrepid senator wrote an article in this week's Tech News with the help of Morgan that is summarizing a lot of the items that they are using to carry out these goals.
This is also true.
I hear he's somewhat using that as well.
Yeah.
Who wrote it?
So you can either read his Tech News article, but then you can also hear me talk about it right now. Our exec board basically wants to push better unity of the school, and we want to do that through pushing better communication and pushing, some of our
Say like unity between who? Connection between who?
Of course.
I think that's what he means.
So we want connection between SGA and obviously the student body, and also the student body and the faculty, and the student body and the administration. And so pushing all of those things by talking about them more, I think would be the most important presence. So how we're going to do that is we basically hope to open up new social media gateways through our website that we will be working on, and Snapchat. And we're going to try and do Instagram too. So hopefully with all these different things, we can better connect us to the student body, so then we can further connect the student body to faculty and the administration.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah?
So you have a secretary already picked out?
Yes. Erin is our new secretary. Anything else?
You still have a
You
question?
haven't transitioned yet. Come
No,
down.
I didn't have a question. Oh, okay. Okay, yay. On to Ozar. Erin, the secretary.
Yeah, no.
Hey, you guys. Hey, Ozar.
Okay, one more time. Hey, you guys.
Hey, Ozar.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. Shh, you guys are talking. Be quiet. All right. So first things first is one of senators on the committee want to work on updating the Hawkeye app so that the Blackboard can get synced with the Hawkeye app so that you get notifications if stuff gets added. So let's say you got a grade on a quiz or a grade on a homework assignment. I'm thinking it's working because I got a notification this morning about a quiz. So which is pretty exciting. Next thing's yes. Wow, I can't talk today. Get ready for an awesome year. I'm really excited to be VP. If you have any suggestions for me on what to work on, I already have a really long list going. So please let me know about that. Another thing is what my summer goals are. You're gonna hear that joke a lot. Is that thanks guys. Is we want to figure out a way to show off your student work. So I'll be working with the one and only Chris White. If you don't know who that is, you should. And we want to figure out a gateway so that you're able to post your student work on this said platform. A way that we thought of is through your IIT portal. So once you get into IIT, you have this little portfolio, so you can add whatever work you want. And then when you graduate from IIT, or when you're still in IIT, you can make it public. So if people search you for a job, they can see your work, and it'll be kind of cool for job applications and all that fun stuff. Hopefully further on it will be kind of like a profile that you can make up within the portfolio. That way it's easier for people to search you and stuff. But yeah, that's it for me. Any questions?
We're also working on a physical version of that as well. It's in the brain works.
Like to show off your work?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you mean work done in SGA or homework?
For the show off
Yeah.
thing, work in school. So that's what I meant by it. Yeah, work that you do in school. So let's say an essay you write, or a project you've done, or iPro stuff, that kind of stuff. You can show off.
Is this stemming from what Akash had asked?
Yeah. No one else?
Cool.
Yay, thanks.
I'm so excited. Yeah, the clicks were really slow when I did it, but they're all like cool transitions. I
Oh,
really.
How many do I do?
I'll give you the cue.
All right.
I want to make mine a spicy one. First up, the website. Okay, click. There it is. This is what's gonna happen. Click again. Goodbye. The website. Goodbye. No more website. So we're done. I got elected. We're getting rid of it. Just kidding. I'm getting rid of it, and then I'm getting a new one, and it's gonna look better, and it's gonna work better, and it's gonna be better, and it's gonna be faster, and it's gonna be good adjectives. Okay? Promise. So those are my summer plans, along with the wiki too. I want to start that. It's on the next slide. Oh yeah, you can go there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to. I like that. Oh, sorry, I forgot that you're dead to us now. To the side. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Here's the actual things. Yeah. So I'm really looking for a website. Ideas and updates and projects and random things that you can think of that you want the site to be, since I'm building it over summer. So if you have anything, speak now. Email me, njones10@hawk.iat.edu. You can call me, 661-513-8040. And yeah, just let me know. Okay. OCL has a handbook for new organizations, and I want to parse through that, and I want to put that on the actual wiki. That'll be great. I didn't know this existed, but it does, and that's amazing. So half the work for the Student Liaison Project is already done, so we're just going to put it on a wiki. It's going to look beautiful, and it's going to be so easy to navigate through. It's going to be beautiful. Let's see. The wiki's going to happen. All right. I'm going to do that over summer. Okay, social media, that's going to happen. We're going to get SGA on social media. We're going to get us on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Who has a Twitter? No, I mean, no. I have like the Twitter account, not like just Twitter like.
Who has the SGA
Yeah,
Twitter?
let me rephrase it. Who has the SGA Twitter? No, I wasn't. No.
It's probably.
Yeah, it's on there. We have the information.
Oh, we have it?
Yeah. We also have the
Never mind.
Yik Yak information.
No, Yik Yak, that was just a joke.
Important.
Reddit, half kidding. Votebox, I was hoping Gabe would be here, he's not. Okay, questions. How can we effectively engage with this campus and promote SGA? I also want to know this. Also, why do people hate us? What can we do to rectify this? Those are serious questions. Anybody have any answers to those questions or opinions? Oh yeah, sorry, some people. Some people love us, like.
I think we should start when like everyone first gets here. We should have like flyers everywhere.
Agreed. What should they say?
Just like
SGA.
inform SGA.
Okay.
Like come to our meetings or something. Or vote for senator or something.
Okay, so we get them fresh out of.
We all make T-shirts and walk around with SGA logos.
So, Leo just informed me of this, but we get an SGA wall next year. Woo!
If you work on it.
If we work on it over the summer, which we will.
A wall where?
So the wall that's like in front of the office that has that TV on it, we have that space to like put whatever we want on it. So basically, what we hope to do is basically use. Is to use like the TV and the wall to like post pictures of the exec board and of Senate and of finance board and of judicial board to like talk about what SGA is and like our projects and what we've done.
Yes.
So
It's gonna be a beautiful
hopefully we can
wall.
have that up by-
Oh, that sounds bad.
I think to engage campus, like involvement, we could potentially create like an SGA like auxiliary board, which would be something like they would come every time. They would be in our meetings and also at SGA. They just wouldn't have voting power. But I feel like if there was actually a thing like join our auxiliary board, then people would be more likely to join instead of just like, hey, come and watch our meetings. If they actually felt like they were on something that was meant to be here, then people would be more inclined to come. Then they could be like, I'm on the SGA auxiliary board, like, you know what I mean? So I feel like maybe that's something that we can implement for next year.
I like that. I think we can do it. I think people aren't gonna hate us that much.
I think that's a great idea. I think we just need to find a better name for it.
Then the SGA auxiliary board.
SGA,
That's fine.
we'll call it SGA aux board.
SGA aux.
From that concept, I like that idea. I think a pitch like maybe like a watchdog board or something like that.
What?
Well,
General
that,
Assembly.
I think that what is going to be very important is capturing a segment of people who are angry at SGA and would be very skeptical of any official organization. So it would be a name that sort of sounds like we are watching over SGA and saying, like, if you do something wrong, we'll go after you.
If people, let's redirect anger into
just like general
Energy.
board. The SGA
Power
general
towards
board.
the
But
future.
SGA.
My overall point though isn't about the board, it's about that concept, about the fact that a lot of the frustration with SGA from segments of the student body comes from the fact that SGA tends to get bogged down in individual projects, and I think that bogged down is a bit of an unfair way of stating that, because our individual projects can be very impactful, but SGA as an organization, as the organization that represents the students and the opinion of the students, doesn't make broad pushes or statements on different issues, or hasn't in the past few years, at the very least. It hasn't issued a statement addressed to the president of the university saying this is what the students want to see happen on this issue. And I think that a lot of students who are frustrated with SGA want SGA to be the type of organization that does that.
Oh, I do want to comment on that. There was another hand.
Go ahead, comment.
Fine. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna comment.
Behind you.
Okay.
Oh.
Comment first, please.
Okay. Petitions. This isn't my idea, but I'm gonna. It's my idea. Yeah, it's my idea. I made it up from my head. We're gonna have petitions on the site. It's gonna be great because you can sign it, and then if we say, "Hey, I want better windows," and you say, "Who said?" I'm gonna say 2,000 people said. And we're gonna show them a list, and that's gonna be some advocacy. SGA representing. We want to represent the student body. That's communication. So that's important to us. Petitions. Better one? I don't know.
It's helping you.
Okay, so I really like the bridge that we did, the like SGA on the bridge. I think that was
Yes.
really good. I was looking at the whiteboard in the office the other day with post notes from events committee being on there, and there were some helpful things. So I think that's something good we did, and that we should continue to promote SGA. And I think also just leaning on the publicity efforts that events committee already does. A little biased because I'm a part of it, but I think that we do a really good job of we already are in that like flyers advertising mode, and so I know a lot of executive boards have like a publicity chair, and we don't have somebody that specifically is like going out and just making a random flyer that says SGA Senate Wednesday nights and like getting that kind of information out there. So maybe even turning that into something that maybe events committee could help with during downtime.
Oh, I would love that because I don't want to. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'd love some help on that. Also, instead of just being on the bridge, we want to go kind of everywhere.
Sure.
Like other buildings too. So we want to expand. Yeah, everywhere.
Onto what you said, maybe like next semester or like next year for events committee, like at the beginning of the year you guys could be like, okay, who wants to be like our publicity person in events committee, and maybe someone within events committee can be like assigned that job for the year or the semester, however you want to do it.
We should work together.
That's kind of what Adina already, like I know that like in our events committee there were specific people that already focused on advertising.
Yes.
And so they were already like always in that mindset, so doing that kind of thing I think could help.
Beautiful. That makes my life a million times easier. Any other? Oh yeah.
We will talk further about this in our exec meeting.
Yes, we will.
Moving on.
Thanks for the claps, guys.
On to Trixie. How's it going?
Hi,
Sorry,
I am
get
the.
her.
Click and then
Oh.
That's not.
Having some trouble with my government. Have you tried turning it on?
Oh, sorry, I forgot my good meme time. All right,
Good
bye
meme
guys.
Okay, so I'm Trixie. Hello. Some like major updates that we have right now from the Technology Advisory Board meeting. The OTS, like Office of Technology Services Town Hall, has been rescheduled for next semester. We think it might be during Welcome Week. Still coming up with a date on that. Additionally, there's now, like as of the summer, they said there's gonna be Comcast in the dorms. I think there were some issues with like infrastructure, like it won't be
up on the TVs in the dorms, but it'll be accessible through your computers on the dorms. If anyone knows what Comcast is, cool.
It's a TV
I don't.
service.
Okay.
Provide full background on that.
One of those.
For anybody who, I mean, I've said this before in meetings, but I'm the president of our Residence Hall Association, and we have been, as part of our duty, lobbying for Wi-Fi infrastructure upgrades in the dorms, and the recent contract renegotiations for the university's cable package were very closely related to that conversation. We officially advised residents in Greek life and various other offices of the university that the position of our residents at the university was that, of course, they would want an upgrade to their cable package. They would want to be able to watch TV online, but if that came at the cost of, if suddenly 1,000 students are watching TV on their computers and Wi-Fi infrastructure is already pretty spotty as it is, then that poses major issues for productivity in our residence halls. So our advising led directly to a new cable package being put in place that came along with an investment of, I don't remember the number, I believe it was the low 7 figures, that is part of this to upgrade Wi-Fi infrastructure over this summer, specifically in MSV, and I can't remember if it's in other complexes as well, but MSV has had the largest issues with Wi-Fi over the last year.
The meeting said all the dorms.
Okay.
So on campus, I guess.
Well, the cable package, yes. Do you know if the Wi-Fi upgrades
It's together, yeah. We will come back to you with further updates. So next is the Hawkeye and the Blackboard apps. The Hawkeye app, they're making a lot of improvements this summer. I think they're working on it, and there's gonna be they're trying to put registration on the Hawkeye app. That's like a very vague idea so far, but they're also, some of what goals are said, they're working on Blackboard, incorporating that with the Hawkeye app, some like sign-in issues, stuff like that. So basically they're doing like a redesign. And the Blackboard apps, there's 2 Blackboard apps right now. There is Blackboard Mobile. If you have that, delete it and tell all your friends. I don't know why it still exists, but it doesn't work. So now we have Blackboard Student. So that one is the good one, supposedly. Also on Hawkeye, we're trying to make Blackboard Student rather than Blackboard Mobile because it doesn't work. Anyways, there are hard drive replacements. You know how the computers are like, hi, we're setting things up for you, and then it takes 15 minutes and you're late to class. So this will only take a minute and then it takes 10. So they are making hard drive replacements, which supposedly will help with that. Not supposedly, it will help with that. And the ones that, it's like a continuous ongoing process, they're replacing a bunch of them, but the ones that have already been replaced are in Stewart Building, the 112 like computer lab, which is right outside, where I don't know where we are right now. It's over there somewhere. The Siegel computer labs and Tech North 110, and it's like continuously ongoing, as I said. Next is the dining service updates. So we had like a food advisory board meeting, and it was mostly just the faculty telling us what they're changing. Staff telling us. Oh. It was people in charge telling us what they're changing. So I have like a brief rundown, if you can ask questions if you want, because this isn't all of it, but they have basically a 2-part plan. The first part is the welcome desk, Global Grounds, Pritzker Club renovation. So they're taking out Global Grounds. They don't know what they're gonna do with it, with that space, but they're moving the coffee center into the welcome desk. And they're also making the Pritzker Club, because it's really underused, it's operating at like a deficit. They're making that into like a cafe bistro type thing. Like hangout space. It should be interesting. And it's gonna have like the Starbucks thing, the Jamba Juice thing that Global Grounds has, and then also center court options, except like a different package of that. So it's gonna be like adding variety and meal exchange options and stuff like that. Yes.
I'm a little confused. You said there's something going in the welcome desk and?
Yeah.
So the welcome desk is now going to be like a little coffee center, and it's going to be like a cafe that extends kind of behind to Pritzker Club is now going to be a cafe bistro. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
What efforts are currently being put into place, / what's the timeline of looking into other possibilities besides Sodexo before their contract expires and
Hold on.
deciding?
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you have questions about the first one, let me know. Yes.
Not a question, but I just want to mention I'm about to post 2 very blurry photos of some renderings of the proposed renovation in the Student Life channel in the SGA Slack that were shared during last food advisory board meeting.
Cool. Did you still have a question?
Kind of like sort of along those lines. So is that cafe bistro thing, is that for sure happening, or is that
Yeah.
only if we renew our contract?
It's for sure happening. So the thing with the contract renewal, Sodexo, yes.
Can I hit on this?
Yeah.
Guys, it hasn't started yet. It's happening next year, so like the school hasn't even like opened up other companies to come talk to them yet. So we won't be hearing about this probably until next semester. So
Additionally and separately, this is, Sodexo owns a lot of our campus, so.
Rumor. Not true.
Oh, really? Fake news. Fake news.
Okay, well,
Not true.
Sodexo is active on campus, so this is involving Sodexo, I think. But if we're changing the contract, probably they will not have that space anymore. I can't like confirm any of this, but yeah.
It'll only go into effect if we choose to go with Sodexo.
Okay. Yeah.
If you have more to say about contract
do.
negotiations, I can talk after that, but I
Oh,
have
I
some
don't.
background for contract
Okay.
negotiations. The RFP will be sent out, request for proposals will be sent out sometime fairly soon. Sodexo has submitted their ongoing proposal already, and Sodexo has decided, due to some logistics at the university, to submit, this may not be set in stone yet, but I believe that their proposal is for a 2-year extension to their current contract rather than a 5-year full cycle. It also includes some renovations of the commons. And the process of advocating for student opinion in terms of the contract itself will be something that I know at the very least RHA will be paying attention to as soon as the RFP goes out. But
So
that
should we,
process
as
has
SGA?
not started.
Okay. Sweet. So, the second, like, phase of the plan, I guess this is just Sodexo's plan then. That wasn't really made clear in the meeting by the dude. But, they're looking pretty far into the future, like he said, renovating commons, renovating the retail dining opportunities or spaces on campus. So, like, Talons and Center Court, basically places where you can, like, use your own money, or meal exchanges are often offered there, but it's more the separate stuff. And they're trying to renovate those. Additionally, they have this thing where they're trying to, I think that they're trying to get more student involvement in the decision-making process. I think it needs to be a two-way street, and so we're gonna push for that. If you guys have strong opinions or strong voices, come to the food advisory board meetings. Don't know when the next one is.
Friday, 3:15.
Friday at 3:15 is the next one. You should come to it. Anyways, yeah, they're also working on ways to provide more options, like over more of the time. So they're trying to expand the commons, the hours that commons is open. Additionally, hearing it from both sides, like, yeah, sorry. We have there are a lot of student complaints, and they're also, like, they're being heard, and they're harder to address than we think a lot of the time. But doesn't mean we shouldn't work on them, but it's just a longer process than we think. Okay. Next is,
I went back in the slide. Sorry, I had to refresh it.
Okay. Next is stuff student life committee is going to be working on over the summer, and is the facilities advisory board. I think the advisory boards are a really good way of connecting us to the administration and like the staff, and getting like opinions heard and stuff. Additionally, project timelines. I'm going to be working with Nathan to get the project timelines like published on the SGA website, which is going to be kind of lighting a fire under our asses as senators, under our butts as senators, but is that allowed? Sorry. But I think that's a good thing. Sorry if you don't like it, leave. And that way when people are like, oh, like, SGA doesn't do anything, be like, actually, we do. Look here. It's updated by progress. And then additionally, we'll be working with Gabe Connors and the vote box thing and the idea. It's supposed to say idea exchange, but then I was in a rush and forgot. That's all.
This is like more or less a conversation that will like continue later, but I just want to make it like completely relevant now. Like the Student Health and Wellness Advisory Board, which up until now has kind of been like what I should say, is something that like moving forward into the next year, I want to integrate more with your committee. So we'll be talking about that, and I'll be able to pass on everything I have on it.
Yeah. Can I add to that? I think all the advisory boards are going to be taken on by Student Life Committee, unless they like particularly pertain to one of the other committees, like more so, or specifically. Yeah.
Just to comment on the Comcast Wi-Fi, during our OTS meeting today for TAB, they only confirmed that MSB will be getting a Wi-Fi upgrade. They did not know if any of the other buildings were getting.
Also, I've heard that they aren't even sure when that will be happening because they are planning on renovating MSV, like tearing it down completely in the future. So I don't know.
MSV has a predicted lifespan of about 7 years, but these upgrades are happening over summer.
Oh, okay. Cool. Ignore me then. Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, this is what it's supposed to look like, I guess. That's nice. That's the welcome center. What? Oh, did you say you just uploaded this?
Yeah, I put them on Slack with Nathan, I think. Just put them in the
Oh,
presentation.
that looks
Yeah.
cool. It
That
looks
is
better
blurry.
than that picture, I promise. Alright, finance forms.
Alright. So, just a few quick points about what we're going through. To recap the third hearing allocation that we just had, we allocated about $430,000 to the student population for the upcoming semester. So those are to orgs and who wanted funding. For the fall 2017 hearing dates, they're already set in stone. So we have September 9th, October 7th, and November 18th, when a finance board will be coming together and deciding on the new budgets that will be proposed in the fall. And then as student orgs, for anybody who's watching and for anybody who is in a student org, to remember that 2 weeks beforehand is when the advising time with your advisors will actually be happening. So 2 weeks prior to these dates are when advising week happens, and then this is the hearing date. So we have some new advisors that I'd like to swear in today, or to have Senate vote on today. We have Jorge and Jillian, who I've selected to become new advisors, so I think if you guys come up here, I think that's the yes? Alright, so both of you guys can come up.
Sonia, can you know?
Yes.
Quick question, and maybe San can answer this. Jillian's currently a senator.
I think she would have to
She has to either give up her position as senator before being sworn in, or finish her term and then be sworn in as an advisor, because she can't hold positions within both boards.
It's up to you.
Okay, so I'd have to give it up right now.
If you want to think more about
If you want to
can I
swear in now, you'd have to give it up now. Or you can come back later.
Or wait until you're done in fall, and then you can.
Oh, okay, so I don't get sworn in right now, but you can like roll over until next year.
It's up to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So it's just so I guess the floor is open for questions to Jorge.
Since the vote is a slate, and now the slate that was presented to be voted is broken, does that not mean that this can't be voted on? Is there no requirement of prior notice
We used
for
to with Senate
candidates?
active rule where we could ignore that last semester.
Okay.
All good. If you just want to introduce yourself quickly before
Oh,
people ask
okay.
questions.
So, currently right now, second year, I'm an architectural engineering major. I'm residing right now as the SHIP, Society of Hispanic Engineers Finance Chair. And I wish to pursue the Finance Board position, advisor. Yes, questions?
Or like, are we open to questioning now?
Yes.
Okay, so then just based off of your personal, professional, student organization experiences, can you speak a bit on like your familiarity with just the structure of Finance Board and the guidelines of them?
All right. So, recently I've been trying to, grow since the beginning of last year. So I started out as just a regular student and, just like amongst the thousands of students. And then I decided that I wanted to step up and I wanted to take a position. And then I had a huge interest in finance. So then I decided, okay, let me choose an org. And then I fell in love with CHIP. And I started at the very bottom. And then I gained the trust of the executive board. Throughout time, I was able to become a finance chair for my organization, and I wish to continue to grow. And that's why today I asked that you guys let me become a finance board advisor. Yes?
What is your understanding of the role that you will play in the finance board as an advisor?
I understand that the role is to help allocate the funds evenly among all organizations through SAF funds, student activity funds.
That's what finance board does, but what will you do?
I will help participate and help grow my involvement, and I want to help make decisions.
When you say allocate funds evenly, can you elaborate on that? Like, because not every student org receives an equal amount of money. So.
Yeah. Okay, so what I mean by that is I wanted to make it fair, and I want everyone to feel like that they receive what they deserved. Maybe that's not the best word choice, but so like each organization, let's say that they pitch in, for like operations or, for like a capital item, then if they get it, then they should be able to understand why they got what they got, or if they were cut, then they should be understand why they didn't get what they get. And I want to do this for all the organizations. So yeah. Yes.
Why are you joining finance board? Like, what's your purpose? What do you want to do in finance board?
I want to grow and gain more knowledge, because I feel like right now I'm like constricted, and I want to be able to have more of an involvement around campus, and I want to be a part of the student government as a result of that.
So what can you contribute?
I have a lot of passion, and I'm very motivated, and I think that that's that driving force that I have, along with the experience that I continue to gain throughout the years. I feel like I can continue to add on to them, even joining as finance board.
So what's your plan afterwards?
To continue to contribute to student government and to continue to grow.
Quick question, what year in school are you at?
Second right now.
Okay.
Yay.
I'm gonna ask you to step outside while we discuss, and then you can go or you can stay. He can go right there. He doesn't hold you. Okay, yeah, you can go or you can stay, but the results will be emailed. No, does he know?
Everyone has to make sure Nina will email the
Okay, yeah.
results tomorrow.
So everyone affiliated with finance board needs to leave the room while we discuss.
That's true.
And the results will be emailed to you tomorrow. Yeah.
Takes the whole
Order. Do I hear a motion to discuss for?
Move to discuss for 5 minutes. 3 minutes.
Good.
Second.
Okay, Trustee Thomas.
To be honest, I was kind of dissatisfied with most of his answers to those, but I don't really know how this works. Do we have like another option if he's not a thing, or maybe he's just not good at public speaking?
So, the way, okay, go ahead. Talking, okay, I trust Nina and someone's, opinion. They picked this person filled out our application, so I think we can trust him when it comes to that he knows his stuff. So, even though he can't really publicly speak all that well.
Thomas?
Yeah, that is a very valid point. Flawless communication is not essential at all. In fact, it's not really even a concern. I was slightly concerned about some of his responses. He said "I" a lot. He seemed very self-centered on a lot of the things he said. Like he's trying to, and it's not entirely bad because we're all students, right? We're all trying. We all are involved. We're all trying to learn and grow. But it just it wasn't very clear in his contributions back to this concern.
Kind of,
Oh, yes.
okay.
I was just saying, yeah.
Kind of adding on what Thomas just said. He kept talking about growing, and he was very vague about what that meant. That, when someone's kind of vague about that, that means one of two things. It either means that they're going through something that they're trying to be discreet about, or they don't know what they're doing. Considering that Sungmin picked him, and I'm sorry, and that coupled with Thomas's observations, lead me to believe that there's something more to him.
What?
It's my understanding, maybe someone can confirm this, that he's already sat through multiple finance board hearings and has been trained.
Not sure if he's one of those.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to ask Lisa.
I was thinking about it too. I don't think it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't part of the finish. As a response to what Thomas said, you said he used the word "I" a lot. We were asking about himself. So I don't know how you answer a question without using the word "I."
I appreciate that.
Okay, Salon.
Did you say Sauron?
Zora?
Isn't that from like Lord of the Rings?
I think that it is a little concerning that he doesn't seem to have a lot of prior knowledge about the specifics of the position, but I do have faith in both.
Move to extend time for 3 minutes.
Second.
In both Sungmin and Nina to choose and to train people who are very good at what they do in finance board. I think that this person, in saying, I think we're also projecting a lot onto him that is completely unfair. When somebody comes forward and says they want to get more involved, that they want to be part of SGA, that they want to join this organization, I think it's okay for them to admit that, yes, maybe I can develop myself more. Maybe my involvement hasn't been great so far. And I think that those people have huge potential. And I think that his prior experience in a finance-related position in a student organization shows that he knows at least some of the processes. And I think that his motivation through applying, through coming here, going through this process, and in showing that he genuinely does want the position is a positive sign.
I agree with you. I think that when I was understanding the calling him out for saying I a lot, it was not necessarily literally saying I a lot, but more when asked what he would contribute, like what uniquely he would bring that someone else could not, that I didn't get much from his answer. And it seemed like I want to take into account that like oftentimes people who are really good at that job aren't going to be good at portraying their ideas to a group of a bunch of critical people staring at them. But additionally, I think that there was a lack of like actual like why are you here? What can you bring here?
So I think part of the reason why he couldn't be as specific to like what he thinks he can do as an advisor or whatever, he did seem to know overall what does finance board do and kind of vaguely like what do advisors do, but he might not have been one of the people who has been trained throughout the semester, so he wasn't given the same opportunity as previous people who we voted in the semester were to kind of shadow for a bit. And coming from somebody who was a finance board advisor for a year, I can say that like when I came into it and before, like I didn't have a training period or whatever either, it was kind of like you don't know what you're getting into until you're finally there, and then you can kind of get a grasp of what does an advisor do. As long as you kind of have an understanding of what finance board does, you have a passion enough to like want to do it and have some sort of experience or like expertise that can help you with that position, I think you can do well. And the fact that Nina and Sungmin have already approved them, Morgan as well has approved of them, means that he's gone through several steps and has a basic understanding. Like he won't know exactly what he's going to be doing because you can't really know that until you've seen it for yourself.
I need a motion to extend time.
Motion to vote.
Move to vote.
Move to extend time for 30 seconds.
Okay.
Move to extend time for Olivia to talk.
Okay.
And Will.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think on the bridge there's an advertisement for recruiting finance board advisors. So that's basically recruiting for the whole student body. So I think he's definitely a little more qualified than some random student that just walked by on the bridge because he's had this finance board or finance position in his org. So like Sonia said, he might not know exactly what he's getting himself into, but that's because he hasn't gone through any of it yet. So.
Okay. There's still 2 more people who need to talk, so do we have a motion to extend or to vote?
Move to extend for a minute. 2 minutes.
Second. Okay. Go ahead. Akash and then Will, sorry.
I was just gonna say, when you ask questions like, would you plan to contribute to SGA, that's such a vague question itself, like, I didn't understand what kind of answer y'all were looking for when you asked the question, whoever asked it. Like, then yeah, whatever, essentially, but yeah, it's just, we gotta have the ability to recognize initiative. I think that's the major takeaway from this. Like, it's not about skill. Okay, like, sure, they might not know everything, but as long as they show initiative, I think that's an invaluable asset for any student.
Oh, Will.
Okay, really fast. So one of the big problems with one of the big issues that J-Board deals with when dealing with SAF funds is like the ambiguity of the reasons why funds were denied. And one of the things that he mentioned, really like the big goal that he saw as like the finance board was to make things clear for the boards as to why or why not certain funds were allocated, which makes everybody's job easier.
Move to vote.
Second. Okay, those in second. Any objections?
I have a slight objection.
So something constitutional, can we hold for a minute?
Yeah, we need to hold for a second. I'll basically fill you all in. I did not talk to this finance board chair. So we actually do not know if we can actually vote on this person yet, and we are going to find out in our constitution.
Oh, because did Leo talk to him?
No.
Should I pull out my means?
Historically, there wasn't had to have talked to the advisory approval himself, but we're making sure that that actually is. Like, checking the verbiage again. Because if it's not the case, then it's vote.
This is the last set. We're gonna need some minutes.
Wait, Wait, Sonia, because Nina emailed me saying that she talked to you and Leo about it.
She said she had advisors that are already, she didn't tell us who they were, or at least not during the conversation with Fatima, she didn't tell them who they were. Also, it's not,
Because she said I was talking to Leo and Sonia, and they told me I need to get approval from you before I can present them to Senate. They said they needed to get she said that you and Leo told her that she needed approval from me to present
not you.
them.
You said I did.
Yeah.
Should be good to go.
Well, because
We
she
said
emailed
approval for you
me.
to make sure that you can present at Senate, because you give the entire slides and everything.
Yes.
So to be like, hey, I'm bringing in advisors to present, that's the approval you give. But the actual advisor themselves, that's Morgan.
Yeah.
So just to present people, that's you.
No, yeah, I was like, you can present them.
Yay, misunderstanding.
Okay, so we're gonna vote. Yay.
You, actually.
The bylaws outline a completely different process. We are way in violation of the bylaws. It outlines an entire committee that exists with representatives from Senate that have to make.
Might be the old version. There was an amendment that was made.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the old version.
Then Hawkeye
Okay,
still
we're
hasn't
gonna
come-
keep this moving because it's getting late, so we're gonna vote. Is it open?
We did discuss.
Sonia, wait, point of order.
Point of order. Question back to you, San. You remember Sunmin we had to vote to freeze the Constitution and bylaws at the time where he needed to vote people in.
Did we thought of it?
But did we actually amend the Constitution afterwards to make it a permanent thing?
Yes, we did. At least we freeze it for a year. Basically what something asked for is like there's to pick a financial advisor, they have to go to a finance guy. There's a law that they have to agree on, and if they will present it late. But now last semester someone asked that if he can be the short version is that he will be the only person on that board. So he had the finance board chair has full power of like selecting and present to Senate. And that's the reason why he can take off.
Yeah, that was the idea, but did we vote on it?
That was what we voted on.
Okay.
Yes, motion to vote. Move to vote. Second. Voting is open.
It's in the latest version that's on Hawkline. From the perspective of the university, an organization constitution is not valid unless it's on Hawkline. You are supposed to upload it every time there's a change. It was in bylaws under the,
Three more fam.
Well, what they're trying to do with Hawkeye is trying to like it's they want to make it
One more. Not including me.
So we'll see if they're gonna do it. Yeah. Hopefully we can get that. And it's ready by fall.
Yeah, one more. I'm gonna give you like 10 more seconds. Press your buttons again. Okay, we got it. It's still dead. Either way, we're still. We're gonna vote.
I have a feeling we do like that. We do like
I don't think we get this far. Yes, but it's still early. Just kidding.
No, I'm saying after all, these will be almost 11.
We need a motion to approve.
Alyssa.
He is passed with 17 yeses, 0 nos, and 2 abstains. What the same two people have abstained every vote. There's been 2 every single time.
Could be different people.
Yeah.
No, just keep notes out forever.
Oh yeah, they're talking. Okay, on to judicial board.
Alright, so bylaw amendments, I believe Sonia sent it out to you guys last week, so you guys read it?
Yes.
What?
Can I clarify something?
Yeah, I was gonna clarify that.
Okay, do it.
Okay. So basically, remember the amendment that judicial board suggested? That amendment is not conflicting with the amendment that we sent out last week. So theoretically, you can pass both of them, or none of them. So just letting you know, okay? Remember the amendment that like judicial board suggested last Senate meeting, which is like 2 weeks. We're discussing both of them right now. So
And
if-
voting, question?
do you guys want to discuss it, or you guys want to go straight to voting?
No.
Discuss.
Additionally, are we going to vote at all this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's it.
All right, so discuss it. Eric?
I understand that the last time this was presented to any body in general, there was a lot of confusion surrounding it. I would ask that myself and Aaron, as the authors of one of these amendments, be given some time to clarify, perhaps explain, and give our stances on what we have been doing.
Okay, reasonable. Like, okay, can Eric and Aaron, can you guys explain it for like 5 minutes? Under 5 minutes.
Can we have,
No, just sit
can we
there.
ask to have the floor or no?
Just go ahead and like, okay, you guys can go up here and sit.
No, would you like to start?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Do you want me down here?
Whatever, it's fine.
Okay, just really quick, so the one amendment that Eric and I worked together on with Son and Will, is the purpose of it is to extend the senator voting bylaws to allow organizations to cast block votes, and this would be a special exception of them being able to cross college lines in order to support senators that have similar views to what they have. So that would be like my quick little like Cliff Notes version of the amendment that was sent out. So I know Eric has further explanations about the specifics that might be a little more confusing.
I do have, and I've worked hard to create an explanation that I hope would clear up any leftover confusion if you would like me to go through it.
Actually, let's take a question.
Can we pause for a second?
Yes.
So this one that they're discussing right now, we're actually going to push it to next week, where we're gonna have basically before committee meetings, we're gonna discuss this as a special hearing, to clarify this idea, just because we don't really have time to talk about it right now, because it's gonna take a while,
Okay.
and it's complicated.
You guys okay with that?
So,
I'm sorry, who will be clarifying how this all works?
Oh, so basically, we have a rule where like after a certain time of Senate meeting, we will table everything to the next Senate meeting. Since this is the last Senate meeting, then we have a special Senate meeting next week on Wednesday before committee meeting.
So we'll have a special general assembly or something?
Yes.
So I'm going to say that, I'm going to request that we have a special Senate hearing next Wednesday, and we're gonna table this until next Wednesday, because.
Both or just the one?
Both.
Both amendments. Yes.
Wait,
Or
there was no committee.
we were not originally planning on having committee meetings, so if we all wanna come back here next Wednesday and have the meeting in here next Wednesday, I feel that might work better than.
We need to check reservations.
We'll have to check that it's open,
Okay.
and we'll like email everyone.
Okay, yeah, so we'll do that.
figure it out.
So be on the lookout for your email. What?
It might be because I realized that our reservations were switched somewhere through the semester, so we might actually technically have next week reserved.
We'll figure it out, and we will inform you.
There will be a special Senate
via
hearing
email.
next week.
At same place, same time as just
right now, yes.
Are we sent?
Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
go back.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So that's all we have for now.
Okay. Guys, Alina's not here this week, but I just wanted to make this announcement. During Welcome Week, basically Ryan, is it RGL or OCL that wants us to work with the deans to do bowling?
OCL.
Okay, so we want to like basically help OCL do bowling with the deans next semester. So closer to Welcome Week, we'll probably like poll to see how many of you guys are actually on campus to participate in this. It's basically a way to connect with the deans and with the student body.
This is related to our last discussion. The SGA Constitution dictates that bylaws and Constitution amendments can only happen at a regular Senate hearing, and there has to be more than a week's notice.
Let me double check.
So even if these amendments were sent out less than a week ago, we still can't do anything with them.
But it's still not. They were sent out a week ago, exactly.
More than a week ago, or?
Yes.
A week ago.
Okay.
What time is it? It's 11:08.
I made sure there was some.
So yeah, I think we've got it by about an hour, maybe two. To answer your question.
Like, I'm not in support of extending this meeting, but we have to be accountable to our laws.
Okay.
So we can perhaps push it off to next semester.
I don't think you guys want to push it to next semester, because it's supposed to be for the Senate elections.
So if you guys are not voting it in this semester, there's no way you can use it next Senate election.
Okay.
So
And also,
let's discuss.
quoting from Soren's last semester, like when you guys bypass the Constitution and bylaws, you do what is right, but like don't just let some document dictate you.
We
and
can vote to
prevent you
bypass
from
it,
doing your job.
freeze
Can we vote to suspend the bylaws?
Can I give input real quick?
Yeah.
So I was hoping on us voting and there being a decision because SAC's elections are tomorrow. And that would change how we were to elect our position with a SAC senator.
So then let's just.
We have to, cause with the bylaw,
This is gonna take really long.
with the amendment that was proposed by J-Board was to have SAC present 3, candidates and that the Senate would vote on them. And if that's not, I don't know what the other amendment is, depending on what it is, yeah.
Should we just stick to it then?
Do you have to wake up at 5
So what happened to second? That was the order of judicial vote. That was not an amendment.
Okay, so what is
you
the
guys
action?
have
So you guys have to abide by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't have to vote to approve that.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Sorry.
you can proceed with
That
your
was a
normal.
misunderstanding on my part.
Yeah.
Can we vote to suspend bylaws to have the special hearing on Wednesday?
See, we did it with finance board. I said, yeah.
So do we have to vote on that?
We have to vote to suspend the bylaws, to have the hearing
Vote,
Wednesday.
unless we get a veto.
Motion or move to vote to suspend bylaw.
Second.
There is nothing constitutionally that allows us to suspend the Constitution or bylaws.
I'd like to point out, Article 4, Section 5, Senate's duties and powers, contain all powers vested in the SGA that are not specifically delegated by the Constitution and bylaws. We can basically do whatever we want.
We are the bylaws.
So that's like the RGO clause that says that any other duties as assigned.
There is judicial board precedent for that not being true.
Okay.
There are cases that have limited SGA's powers.
No, well,
Okay, well, according to that, we are allowed to vote
This is the most important.
to allow us, we're not maybe, like, to allow us to have a special hearing on Wednesday. Wait, so why can't we have a special hearing on Wednesday?
Because we can't technically vote to suspend bylaws, which has been done in the past.
Why can't we have the, it on Wednesday in the first place?
Because there's,
Because it has to, it can't be at a special hearing.
Yeah, it has to
According
be
to the
open to
Constitution,
public.
it has to be at a regular Senate meeting.
Well, then why don't we just have a regular Senate meeting?
Because it's a special hearing. We're calling it a special
Because it would, why don't we just call it?
We don't have a regular.
It's just like.
2 weeks from now is regular. That's fine.
Let our judicial chairs listen to
Okay, Son.
Excuse me for my expression and everything, but like you guys have done a lot of unconstitutional things because you guys say that it is more efficient, it's unreasonable to follow a document and like to basically delay the progress of everything. And now that's something that we drafted. Eric and Erin spent a month on this. This is a really good idea. And like if we don't pass it this semester, it's no way we're gonna use next semester. And if we don't use next semester, that's gonna be another year. So why are we following the rules now when we need to not follow the rules?
I
And
understand.
why did you guys ignore the rules before when we needed to follow the rules? So excuse my expression, but
I mean, I have no
yes, let's
problem.
put it on next week in discussion.
Okay. So,
Can we vote to suspend the bylaws?
second.
Move to vote to suspend the bylaws.
No system in place for doing that.
Well, according to him, we're allowed to vote on whatever we want. So,
So what's going to happen here is we're going to vote to suspend the bylaws.
yes.
There's a good chance we're going to get that passed. But then what's going to happen is that we will be sued for suspending the bylaws. That has to run its way through the courts, and they can't do anything about that right now.
Who sues?
So?
Who's suing?
So, they can if they want.
They can.
Problem.
So essentially, we can vote to suspend the bylaw. This is how it works, like in government anyway. We can vote to suspend the bylaws. We can do that right now. However, people can then bring that into the courts later, but that doesn't change what we do right now.
We can justify it, I think, because.
Okay, we're proceeding with the vote. Sonia will open it up. We are voting to suspend the bylaws to move to have a meeting
Hold on.
next Wednesday.
We're voting to suspend the bylaws. Done.
Yes.
That's it.
Open. The voting.
None we voting.
We vote again, have a special hearing. Of course, this has to be our first meeting. It's all
Every first meeting is like that. You should
Yes.
Can we vote to have it Thursday?
That's a separate vote. Right now, we're just suspending the
Okay.
bylaws.
Vote to
It doesn't
suspend
have to do with
bylaws.
the
Alright.
special hearing.
Okay.
Where did Nina?
She never made it more than
She hasn't been here for the discussion, so she won't vote. We still, yeah, okay, we have open.
I already told them they could come back in. They were still out there talking, yeah. Saving the trip over there. They were just out there.
Maybe the voting is not open yet.
Okay, the vote has passed with 15 yeses, 1 no, and 3 abstains. So we will now move to discuss having the special hearing on Wednesday. Do you have something to say?
I do. We should have it on Thursday.
Why?
Because if we, no, hear me out here. If we get, brought to the court of law for having this vote, which is technically unconstitutional, what can happen is it can be found to be unconstitutional, and everything we do from here on can retroactively be erased. However, if we have our meeting on Thursday, what we can do is we can have another constitutional amendment approved tomorrow protecting us from that.
We can't, I think we need like a week, we need prior notice for that we don't have time for.
You had to have submitted an amendment at least a week prior.
Yeah, a week prior to next week's session. That's why it needs to be Thursday.
Not this upcoming Thursday. Saying if we do it tonight or tomorrow morning, then we can technically have it Thursday night.
You wanna submit an amendment
tonight,
allowing Senate.
Yes, but it has to be Thursday. We can't do that tonight. It's too late.
Because it
so
says
that
more than-
everything we do from this point, from this vote on, won't be retroactively erased.
In case it would mitigate the situation a little bit, I should make clear, I have no intent of challenging this. I think it's very important that we are keeping in mind that the Constitution and the bylaws are what students read to say this is how SGA works. And that's what I'm trying to communicate here. I think that some of what's in these amendments is great, and I have no personal stake in trying to keep them from going through. So if I'm the only reason that that would happen, I would rather speed along discussion. But if there's somebody else watching the stream who has a stronger opinion than me, then.
So do we want to have a meeting on Thursday and play it safe, or do we want to take a small risk and have it Wednesday?
I think we should stick with having it Wednesday unless someone is strongly opposed to that. All right then.
What, do you have a hand?
Well, he's.
Didn't Will just read off the rules that saying like if we agree as like a whole, we can do whatever we want. So like
let's not abuse that.
That's pretty
Well,
great.
that's all.
We can do it. I will continue.
We're voting to have a special hearing on Wednesday to discuss the amendments. Okay, yeah, someone needs to move to vote though.
Move to vote. Second.
Okay.
It's open now.
To have a special hearing on Wednesday for this.
As opposed to not having it.
Like if they say B, is that what not having it at all?
A is have the meeting on Wednesday. B is no special hearing. C, D, E abstain. Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I want to make sure my vote goes through. Drives me insane.
Okay, the vote has passed with 14 yeses, 1 no, and 4 abstains. So we will be having a special hearing on Wednesday to discuss the 2 amendments.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, on to senators' reports. Oh, what?
I needed to bring something up with the events.
Oh, okay.
The OTS town hall, that's supposed to be going on, we talked about that.
Yeah, so
We
we're
talked about
still,
it, Trixie.
yeah.
Is that something that, like, the events committee and the student life committee are gonna work, or are you guys taking up that, planning that whole thing?
It's events.
Okay.
So as we get closer to that, so I'm on TAB. So as we start to get closer to the fall semester, we'll start to get further in contact with you guys.
Okay.
It's the advisory board.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Senator reports. If you're a senator and you have something to report on, this is where it'll be. You can email me at alyssadeluca@hawk.iit.edu with your report if you have something to talk about. That's awesome. SGA Spotlight. Woo! Matt
You skipped the
Tremner.
drum.
What?
Sorry.
Let's get the drum roll.
Oh, drum roll, please. It's over.
Matthew.
Matt Tremner. For his dedication to finance sport over the years, and is currently the oldest foreign and sport advisor, as well as his efficiency, professionalism, and dependency as director.
Ageism.
Keep up that great work. Remember, nominate your next Spotlight member at that thing. I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second. I can't a second. Oh, dang. We have an objection on the table.
No, ask if there's a.
Oh, are there any objections to adjourning?
They're not.
Yeah, real quick.
We will all be upset about this,
Okay,
but
to
okay.
clarify, I've been asked to clarify with the meaning of Article 4, Section 5, Article 4, Section 5, Part 6 of the Constitution means when I read it off saying, Senate retains all vested powers, the SGA not specifically delegated by the Constitution or bylaws. That is like, it was modeled after the U.S. Constitution was put in place for like specific instances like this where like we're put a really tough bind and like in order for the government, or in this case the student government, to operate effectively and function properly, essentially we can do what we want in order to do this. It's like when presidents get special wartime powers or Congress has the ability to appropriate appropriate more funds to like a war, when, you know, you can't actually do that under US law. So we're not abusing that at all. In fact, we're using it correctly.
Translation, we can't be retroactive meeting this.
Okay, so move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn second.
Second, okay. Goodbye.